Hey, what up, though? It's your boy, T-Way Sports and Culture, back to put a little game in your brain and show the love to those doing the same. Go ahead and like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling the content. You feel me? Alright, man, so Katt Williams got the entire entertainment industry in an uproar, got that aggressive energy out. I mean, it's call outs everywhere, left and right, man. So, where do we begin here now? Yesterday we saw Stephen A. Smith on his Stephen A. Smith podcast basically go all the way in on Jason Whitlock. I mean, we all know Jason Whitlock to be a, let's just say raccoon over the years and just be a buck dancing fool, essentially. Stephen A. Smith, he has his flaws and a lot may feel that applies to him as well. However, one thing I will say about Stephen A. Smith, he has found a way to stay relevant in the industry and, remain to be the quote unquote face of ESPN. And, many that are familiar with the situation know that both Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock have been going back and forth and going at each other for years at this point. So I think Stephen A. Smith, I don't know how really upset he is with, Jason Whitlock, or may he be riding this quote unquote clout wave that's going on right now in the entertainment industry with all the calling out. But Stephen A. Smith went in on Jason Whitlock, man. I mean, I've never heard Stephen A. Smith talk like that. And, it's just funny that, a lot of Stephen A. Smith's ops over the years have used YouTube essentially and social media to get at him. And now that Stephen A. Smith is finally in the social media world, he talking reckless. He talking how he want to talk. So, he was calling Jason Whitlock all kind of fat bastards and, you a piece of shit and all kind of stuff like that, man. So, Stephen A. Smith was going in on Jason Whitlock and, deservingly so, really just telling Jason Whitlock that he's basically a hater for Stephen A. Smith's success. And, nobody in the industry wants to work with Jason Whitlock, and that, Jason Whitlock was calling Stephen A. Smith untalented, but I guess Stephen A. Smith was asked by Jason Whitlock to work on a project that, he ended up not signing on for. But, how can you be an incompetent journalist and you're asking me to get on your project? So, they just going in back and forth, but, they issues are deep rooted, but you know how that goes. Also coming out, after some more of the Katt Williams fallout from the mega bombshell interview on Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay. Mark Curry is doing an interview now with Willie D. Katt Williams just did a follow-up interview to that interview on Club Shay Shay with Willie D Live. And it looks like he has Mark Curry on there as well. Mark Curry speaking his piece. We know that, during the interview, with Shannon Sharp that Katt Williams spoke on Mark Curry and how Mark Curry was, instrumental to writing some of his, helping him strengthen some of his jokes that he had. And he kind of spoke up for Mark Curry. And we know that Mark Curry has had beef with Steve Harvey for years at this point. These dudes been calling each other out for a while. Well, I should say Mark Curry's been calling Steve Harvey out for a while, again, for the notorious stealing of jokes. And it just seems like that whole crew over there, Steve Harvey, all these guys, are pretty much guilty of this joke stealing thing, over the last who knows how long. But, it's a regular occurring thing in the industry, but it just seems like that, these guys' names are always involved in some type of joke stealing scandal or something like that. So, Mark Curry's doing his thing, going off on Steve Harvey and anybody else that he has issues with in the industry. But it just seems like this is the season, man. Katt Williams kicked things off. It's just open season on the industry, open season on the music industry, open season on the elites. And it's just like everybody's getting in on this, I don't want to say trend. Everybody's taking advantage of this opportunity at this point and kind of telling a story. And, it's a lot of eyes and a lot of visibility now, now that this whole Epstein list has come out, we see a lot of these elites getting, exposed, and it's just going to trickle down. So it's only a matter of time before, a list like that comes out in the hip hop industry, and we get all the information and all the details similar to the Epstein list. But Mark Curry going over there doing his thing, and it's just it's the season for this. It's the season for exposing and telling a lot of untold stories. It's lucrative right now. It's a lot of money in this, man, and it's eyes on the subject. So a lot of these guys that have been getting wrong for quite some time are coming out and telling their story, in particular in the comedy industry. Katt Williams kind of kicked the door open for that. And yeah, man, I just think it's going to get, we're going to see a lot more of this coming for the next couple months at least. A lot of these guys going to be coming out, telling their story and, going back and forth. But this was the much needed joke for, the comedy industry. So glad to hear these guys coming out and speaking their story. I only heard about maybe a quarter of the Mark Curry interview. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that and see what he got to say. But if y'all heard it, y'all let me know. What do y'all think about Stephen A. Smith and Mark Curry's recent interviews? And what do you think about the climate right now? Is it an explosion in climate because it's lucrative? Y'all let me know. Let's chop it up. Peace.